Hello, everyone. I am not in my studio, which you can probably see from all of this going on here. I'm not sure I'm going to get there today, but I wanted to send something out for the week, the dispatch. A lot going on today, besides it being very, very cold. It is my daughter's birthday, and it's going to be a full day. And so I'm just not sure if I'm going to get to the studio to send this out. But I there are a lot of things that I think about in relation to painting that I just want to start sharing in some way, try to figure that out. How I understand some aspect of painting, a deeper nature of painting, um, its possible role for us individually, communally, what painting is, and what painting may be in these times we're living in. So, I think I'm going to also, along with things about painting, share periodically some stuff that I think is relevant to how I understand the role of painting today. So, with that in mind, I'm going to read a little bit from this. Wild Mind, Wild Earth. David Hinton, Our Place in the Sixth Extinction. I know it's heavy, but quite a time we're living in. Anyway, I don't know how I first found David Hinton. I think it was art related. I think he's written about Chinese uh, culture, Chinese art, like earlier stuff, and China, China root, looking at his stuff. Anyway, lovely, beautiful. And here, I'm just going to start. I'm going to read for a few pages and I'll stop. Okay. And then at some point, I'll try to explain how or talk a bit or something about how I understand painting's relationship to all of this. What it could really be, what it is, actually. Okay. Before intention and choice, before ideas and understanding and everything we think we know about ourselves, we love this world around us. How can that be? How can we love all this when our cultural assumptions tell us in so many ways that we humans are fundamentally other than nature, and that nature's only real value is how it supports our well being? There's no love in that. Doesn't love require kindred natures? And what is kinship with wild earth but wild mind? How else could we feel exhilarating awe when a majestic orca whale leaps joyfully? Yes, forget anthropomorphism because they are so like us, so kindred, leaps joyfully out of the water, twisting spectacularly as it crashes back down, playing or celebrating or defiantly shouting, I'm here. I'm me to the world, to rivals, to family. And how else could we feel delight at orcas birthing underwater midwifery and nurturing their young? Or feel grief that southern resident orcas of the northwest coast are slowly starving to death? Anger and guilt that it's because of us. The noise of industrial ship traffic disrupting the echolocation they need to locate prey, polluted seawater, Chinook salmon, their traditional prey decimated by dammed rivers and overfishing and environmental toxins. We feel despair that because of so much stress, those orcas rarely give birth anymore. that the first baby in years died soon after birth, and the mother carried it on her nose for 17 days above water, hoping it would breathe, hoping it would somehow come back to life. Others sometimes took over the task to let the mother rest, but eventually mother and child both vanished. Heartbreaking. Devastating. We love this world, this living planet. We feel joy when life thrives, grief when it suffers and dies. This may seem obvious and uninteresting in and of itself, but it's a mystery, isn't it? Because given our Western assumptions, it's inexplicable. Ancient Greek philosophy conjured a transcendental realm of pure idea that seemed more real and true than the empirical world around us, because pure idea is changeless and therefore reliable, while wild earth is constantly changing and therefore unreliable. This transcendental realm was associated with an immortal soul, establishing a dualism that opens a fundamental rupture between mind and earth. That dualism set the course of Western consciousness, especially as combined with Christian theology, continuing today as an unnoticed cultural assumption that defines the very structure of our everyday experience. And it's quite the opposite of kinship, where it tells us that we are not wild, not earth. It tells us instead that we are the noble human in strict opposition to the fundamentally other and lesser nature. Togetherness is a primordial value, deeper and more ancient even than self-awareness, let alone philosophizing. It inheres in the body itself. We instinctively need togetherness, and togetherness requires kinship. Indeed, this goes so deep that it challenges our assumptions about individual identity. For without kinship and togetherness, what are we? We curl up together and sink into that primal mystery called sleep. We wake and talk together, cook and eat, make love and sleep again. We inhabit a single tissue of language, or it inhabits us. We are positively interfused and adrift in it, and in family, community, culture, civilization. And why would it stop with our species? In the beginnings of human culture, it did not. Amid the first glimmers of human self-consciousness, Paleolithic hunter-gatherers assumed themselves kindred to wild earth, which was itself the sacred. Though in that cultural context, so different from our own, sacred couldn't mean anything beyond the mysteriously generative tissue of existence itself. Indeed, in nurturing that kinship, spirituality and art celebrated the wonder of that existence tissue, its vast and bountiful transformations. What a deep and unrecognized wound must lay open in us. Our Paleolithic kinship with the web of life torn so completely asunder, mind no longer wild and integral to wild earth. That kinship is still there for children today. They instinctively feel it, and they hear it in the ancient stories we tell them, stories full of endearing animal characters. But unlike Paleolithic cultures, our culture strips children of that kinship, leaving us in adulthood bereft of primordial togetherness. It must be an elemental sorrow to be separated from the wondrous expanse of planetary life, its origins, and the forces that drive it. Paleolithic stories tell of that planetary togetherness, speak of creatures like orcas as sisters and brothers, as ancestors. But the foundational stories of our Greek Christian West describe a self-enclosed human realm separate from everything else. It's a wound so complete we can't see it anymore. For it defines the very nature of what we assume ourselves to be, centers of spirit, identity, fundamentally separate from the world around us. I'll pause there, and I'll read the second section next time. And I want to talk some about painting in that context. I mean, certainly cave painting, right? I mean, hello. But, you know, our stuff, our painting, what we do, what's possible there for us. Okay. Stay warm if you're in a cold place, like here in Colorado. It's pretty out. It's freezing. Sun's out. Okay. Onward. What a time. What a time. Quite a week coming up. Keep painting, keep making, keep doing stuff. Okay. Be well, everyone. Be in touch. Bye.